Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some activities for a very active toddler. I have one. So these are some things, a list I put together of things that keep him occupied for at least 2 seconds. So take that for what it is. But if you enjoy this type of content and other homeschool and lifestyle content, please remember to subscribe and let's get into it. All right, I have a toddler and he's insane. I don't love the toddler stage. Everyone's like, you'll miss it. I didn't miss it. Okay, when my 4th child wasn't a toddler anymore, I loved it. I loved not having a toddler. And then we had a surprise baby 5 years after, like when she was 5. We had a surprise baby and I was just, here we are, back in the toddler stage. It's a really hard stage and he's a very active toddler. He's very tall. For his age, like he's the size of a 3-year-old, but he just barely turned 2. Like he's over 3 feet tall already, and he can get into everything. And he's extremely smart. So when we're doing school, as you can imagine, it becomes very difficult for us to get anything accomplished with him. And he's just like going all over the place, especially when it's winter time and he's cooped up inside. It just becomes even harder for that. And so I was like, okay, what can we do? So I started making a spot in our homeschool closet of things that would be easy for me to pull out, that might keep him occupied, even if it's only for a few seconds. Usually I just put him in his booster seat and strap him in so that he can't go anywhere. And he'll sit with us at the table while I'm doing schoolwork, especially group work with my kids is when we really need him to just be contained so that we can actually get it done. And he'll sit there and do some things, and then we'll switch a different activity, we'll grab a different toy, you know, all the things. We're constantly switching things out because he's easily bored, but sometimes things keep him occupied longer than I think they will, so that's always a win. And so I was like, maybe this would be helpful for other people because I know it's very stressful sometimes to try to homeschool older kids when you still have younger kids, and it's just kind of crazy. And so I'm gonna go through this list and share a few things with you. I'll try to link a bunch of other options below because I'm not gonna be able to share everything, but we have several little finger, like manipulatives type stuff that might be helpful. And so I'll try to make sure I link those things down below. So let's get talking about this and hopefully it will be helpful for you. Okay, the first thing is magnets. My toddler loves magnets. And he really does like to just put them on the fridge. My fridge is pretty empty because I just don't like having stuff on the fridge. I feel like it makes it look cluttered and stuff. And so he has all this fridge space to put magnets on, which sometimes works when we're doing group work. If not, you could just have a cookie sheet, you know, or the smaller cookie sheets. And you can get like really cheap ones from like the dollar store or something like that. And he can use those, or she, you know, whatever, for using the magnets because obviously they'll stick to that too. So I have a lot of these magnets, to be honest, I think are from the Target dollar spot. Again, I don't shop at Target because we don't have one where we live, but I used to shop at Target a fair amount. And so some of these magnets, like there's animals and there's ones with letters and stuff on them, I've gotten just from Target in the dollar spot. And then these ones I think are from Amazon. These are alphabet, like ABC ones. Learning Resources also has something like, I think, yeah, it's from Learning Resources, I believe. Those ones are more expensive, so you might not want those for a toddler, that might destroy them. But there's these ones. He likes any sort of magnets. We have just little ones, and he's past the stage where he puts stuff in his mouth. So, you know, obviously you'd have to pick magnets that are appropriate for that if they're still putting things in their mouth. Obviously don't get little things, but he really loves to play with magnets, and it could keep him occupied for a while, especially if he's filling up the whole fridge with magnets. You know, it's the cleaning up part, is the part that's not fun, but magnets are really, really great and they fascinate kids. And another, like, so that's one part of magnets. He also really loves these. We just got them for his birthday. And my parents have some of them, and he loved playing with them last year when he was almost 1. He loved them this year, but last year I did get some. They were too small. I didn't realize they came in a variety of sizes on Amazon. And so those ones he could put in his mouth. They're better for my bigger kids, but these ones are big enough that, you know, even a smaller child won't put them in their mouth. Hopefully not. Hopefully their mouth isn't that big, but he loves these Kay loves them. And you could get a whole bunch of them too if you have the budget for that. And they could build really big things with them. But I don't know, magnets are just fascinating. I think magnets are fascinating for everybody. And so magnets are a good one, as long as he doesn't start throwing them, because he likes to do that as well. But I feel like that's something that keeps him occupied sometimes for a really long time. The next thing I wanted to mention is watercolors. We actually haven't tried this yet, so I don't know if this is a good idea or not. But he did get some of these in his stocking for Christmas. And this, I had never heard of this brand. It's I think a cleaner brand or something, safer for like little kids. So Honey Stick, so this is the watercolor paints. And then it has some paintbrushes you can buy as well that are more like little finger kid friendly. And so I got those. So we'll have to pull these out sometime. So for this type of situation, I would have a tray or something that could go on. You could, again, just use a cookie sheet. I have some of these trays. I probably have just gotten them again from like a dollar store, or they might show up around school time. You know, these, you can just get them for really cheap. And for a lot of these activities, I like to use this too, because it, you know, he'll throw stuff out of it, but it still contains a lot of the mess. So I put a paper in here, you know, and let him with a little bit of water, and then he could color in here and mostly contain the mess in there. So that could be a fun thing, especially, you know, to keep him occupied for a while. And all these things are better the first time you introduce them. And because then they don't know what they are and it's exciting. But then after that maybe they don't like it as much, but maybe they still do. So watercolors might be a good one, especially if your kid likes a little bit more of the artsy type stuff. And so that could be an option for you. And to go along with watercolors is maybe crayons. Crayons. However you say it, I don't really care. But this might be another, again, if you have a child that likes to sit down and color, or is a little artsy, my toddler, not so much, but he will do this for a second or a few seconds. He's getting a little bit better about sitting still. And these crayons are really cool. They're the Melissa and Doug ones. They're triangle crayons, and they're pure wax, and they don't have paper on them. And my sister-in-law, who used to be a kindergarten teacher and stuff, had these like last year, I think, for her 2-year-old, almost 2-year-old. And I was like, that's genius. So I got some. These ones are a little smaller because there's a few more colors. So we haven't opened this one yet, but these ones are a little bit bigger. Again, as they get older and they can have a little better control, you could use the smaller ones. But if you don't want them pulling off the paper, I know that's part of the fun of the crayons and maybe what keeps them occupied. But if you don't want to pick it up everywhere, then these might be a really good option. The next thing I wanted to mention is some sort of sensory bin. And I just had a whole video go out about knowledge crates and how they have some sensory bin options now as well. And they have these little busy buckets, which are really fun. It has some Play-Doh in it, some of like the foam, I don't know what this stuff's called, but they, you know, it's sticky and it's fun to play with, not super sticky. It's not making a huge mess. And then it has kinetic sand in it. And then some different manipulatives in here that they can use. I think there's some bigger tweezers. Yeah, so like some tweezers that might be a little bit more kid friendly. There's a rolling pin, like a small one and stuff like that in these. They also have some bigger bins, but just any sort of sensory bin that's appropriate, obviously, for their age can keep them at least somewhat occupied. Again, it can make a mess, but also if you're trying to get stuff done, sometimes it's worth the mess. We end up right after like group work, and as my kids are starting to do all their individual subjects, or we're getting into lunch, just everyone helping clean up real quick all the toddler's mess of the toys he's thrown everywhere, the Play-Doh that's been thrown everywhere. Okay guys, it's not always pretty over here. I'm just giving you some real life stories here. And so it does still make a mess, but it at least keeps him occupied in doing stuff so we can get our schoolwork done, which is ultimately the goal. Again, I like these trays. It helps contain some of the mess and keeps things from like going all over the table. So some sort of sensory bin I feel like is a great option. Stickers are really great. Some kids obviously like them more than others. Some might not have the fine motor skills for some types of stickers. Also, to like tear them off, you might have to have someone do it for you, or you know, for them. Like if you have another child that's maybe a little older, they're participating in group work, but not in everything you're doing, they might stand and help. Like my 7-year-old does that a lot because Some of the stuff she participates with, she listens more than, because some of it's a little bit more advanced for what she's able to do. So a lot of times she'll stand by my toddler and help him with some things, or open the Play-Doh or things like that, or peel off the stickers. But stickers are really great. And just give them a piece of paper or whatever and put them on. I did realize just today, realization today, after 4 kids, and then we're on the 5th one doing this, and now I have a 6th one, but the foam stickers work the best. We've had foam stickers before, but they have the little pills on the back, they're individual stickers, which again is kind of hard for little fingers. The foam stickers on a sheet like this are really great. He was able to pull these off super easily. So for littler fingers, the foam stickers are more expensive, and obviously they're just going to waste from your kid. But if it gives you a few minutes of quiet, then maybe it's worth it. And you can maybe get them on sale somewhere, Hobby Lobby maybe, I don't know. But these ones work really well. I have so many random stickers. I don't even know where they're all from. I just keep a little file folder of stickers. And so I can just pull some out and give them to him. Sometimes, again, I have some bigger circle ones or square ones. Those are sometimes a little easier right now for him to get off. And he'll stick them to the paper. He'll put them on the table, but usually, he's not like smushing them down and we just take them right off, so it's okay. Or he'll put them on his shirt, sometimes on his face. But again, it's just something that keeps him a little busy for a few minutes. So stickers are a really great option. Another thing I wanted to mention is ice cube trays. And some of these, again, are from, I think, the Target Dollar Spot, or from like Hobby Lobby, when things for the holidays are super on sale, or Michael's. And you can get things like this, like these silicone ones, for really cheap. And so I have some of those, I have some Valentine's ones, 4th of July, or just some good old white ones here. These ones might be from IKEA, I'm not sure, but maybe. And the thing with these is you have little like manipulatives that can go in them, again, according to your child's age. But some of them are, again, Target Dollar Spot is your best friend. These ones are little erasers, and so a lot of times, with seasons changing, they'll have Halloween ones, they'll have different, these are maybe back to school more-ish ones, and they can just put them in, and it's really fun. You could even give them some of the bigger tweezers, and they can put them in that way. I'll link some of those from Amazon down below, or they could use these ones. These are, I don't know what these are even called. They're kind of like a tweezer, but these are good for the sensory bins as well. And they can pick stuff up and then put them in. These are little hearts, and they're kind of like the little plastic. Again, I think these are from the Target Dollar Spot, but you could always get the little like see-through, they're not glass, but little gems that you put in like vases and stuff with plants. And you'd find those with the vases and plants like at a Joann's or something like that. And you could buy a bunch of those and they can put them in. We have so many of them. And like the little glass, I don't know if they're not glass, but you know what I'm talking about, rocks. But anyways, and so I'll try to link some things down below, so if you're not sure, but they can fill these up. My older kids even like to do that, and they'll get all of our little things out, fill every spot up in all these ice cube trays, and it's really fun for all of them. I guess, again, they have to clean it up. Sometimes you have to clean it up, and that's maybe not the fun part, but it keeps them occupied for a while. The next thing is just toys in general. So depending on what your child likes, maybe something will keep them more occupied than not. Maybe they like just to play with little cars or something, and that'll keep them occupied. Maybe we got like a little busy board for my toddler where he can push buttons and lights turn on, and he really likes that. So something like that might keep him occupied. There's like beads, there's the lace art type stuff. These are fun as well. Sometimes they're a little harder just sitting in a chair, but you can stick them on a window or like a sliding glass door. They're squits. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but they stick together and it's just a fun toy. Again, there's a few of the pieces in here that are a little smaller. So if you have kids that are still little, you might want to take those ones out, and so they don't eat them. And then again, for slightly bigger kids, these are fun. These are just the like 10 blocks, and they can build stuff with them and put them together. This kept my toddler occupied for a while. Actually, one day we should try these again. He hasn't seen them in a while. So yes, rotate stuff around because that makes it helpful when it's new again. It's more fun. So these are really good. But again, just some toys that they like, that they're interested in, that are fun for them. They might at least keep them occupied for a few minutes. The last two things I wanted to mention are snacks and outside. So first, snacks are so helpful. Obviously, I'm not saying like overfeed your child, but sometimes we pick group work around a time when it is snack time, or I hold off snack time until we're ready for group work, because then I can put him in his chair, and snacks keep him occupied longer than a lot of things. So he can be sitting there eating a snack while we're getting through some of our group work. And so kind of plan that out so that they can have something to eat while you're doing that. And then outside, again, we can't go outside as much now, and I can't do this right now, just send him outside. But if you have a space where you can easily see the toddler, like usually we're right in front of our back window, like huge sliding glass windows, doors, whatever they're called. And so I can send him out there and I can see him and he can play. And then I can again send my 7-year-old, who does some of the work with us, but also is mostly listening, to go after him if he kind of disappears. And so utilizing a few of those types of resources that you have, if you're just really struggling and need him to go someplace else for a second, maybe send him outside in a spot that's still safe, but that they're not right in your hair all the time. All right, so those are some of my activities for a very active toddler. Hopefully they were helpful. Comment down below what some activities are that keep your toddlers occupied. Anything that works for you, because I'm sure it'd be helpful for all of us. And remember to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.